If I write a letter to my past self, even could be back in my childhood, and I constantly talk about the wonderful childhood I had, and I did. I had a wonderful, wonderful childhood. There were hard things like everyone has, and of course, this is not something I don't ever focus on those kinds of things, but it would be interesting to actually sit down and do this, and there's a very likely chance I'll do that this week. But write a letter to your past self and see if it changes anything about your present self. Okay, that's going to be an interesting exercise for me. So then I wrote this. I drew a line and then I wrote this. You're safe now. You're protecting yourself now, and you are strong. Remember this part of you. Rediscover yourself. Recreate a new version of yourself. I think we're always growing, always learning, it's so easy to get stuck in whatever, as you go to the next spiritual level, the next awakening, the next awareness, the next remembering. I think what happens is sometimes we land there, and I think it's okay to land there for a while. Stay there for a while until it gets a little bit uncomfortable. And for me, because I've just been on this ascension path, I land into this new remembering, and then I stay there for a while, and then I start to get uncomfortable because I know there's more. Remember this part of you, rediscover yourself, recreate a new version of yourself, adapt, flow, and transition, and stay expansive. Okay, I think that is super important for all of us. And that's one reason, honestly, I wanted to share all this with you, because I feel like some of these thoughts could be little nuggets of you seeing yourself in these things that kind of flowed through me this week. I need to remind myself to stay connected with the divine. I still get caught in moments of fear, and I think we all do. It's part of the human experience until we transcend that, right? So stay connected to the divine. Remember that you are divinely guided. It's a time of healing, and it's magical. This, to me, is one of the most important rememberings. It's a time of healing, and it is magical. And I love that this whole plant medicine with the possibility of like a clinic type of a garden coming in, like how beautiful of an idea that might seem kind of like a fantasy at the moment. How beautiful is that? That sounds magical, right? I mean, imagine if you went in with some pain into this beautiful clinic garden, and they gave you a tincture of white willow bark, and after they gave you the tincture, you went down by this small little river that was flowing through, and you stood by the white willow bark tree. You stood by the willow tree while you were appreciating and utilizing on a biological level all of the benefits of it. Same with something like St. John's wort. You take an extract or a tea of St. John's wort, you go out and you simply stand by a St. John's wort plant with those beautiful yellow flowers. And I will tell you, this will lift your mood even if you didn't take a tincture or a tea made from this plant. There is an energy coming off of a St. John's wort plant that I've personally experienced, and it's beautiful. It's magical. It's a time of healing, and it's magical. If we tune into the frequencies that are so high right now, there is no reason to fear. And this again is underlined like 10 times I wrote. There's no reason to fear. Why do we delve into these moments of fear and lack and all of this stuff? But be careful what you fall asleep to. I wrote that because there's a couple of meditations that I love, and I put my earbuds on if I've had a stressful day. I'll go to bed with this beautiful meditation, and it's about 36 minutes. There's one that I've turned to probably 150 times in the last few years, and I love this meditation. In fact, I'll put a link to it below this video because I've shared it before a few years ago, but a couple times in the past couple weeks I've tuned this in. But the issue is it lives on YouTube, and if I fall asleep, then a commercial starts and it wakes me up. So what I do now is I say, okay, this is 36 minutes, and I'm gonna stay present, and I'm gonna sit up so that I don't fall asleep, because it's such a beautiful piece of meditation. So that's why I wrote, be careful what you fall asleep to, but you could use this on another level of falling asleep to, maybe you have a TV in your bedroom still, and you fall asleep with the news on, or late night talk shows or whatever. I don't have a TV in my bedroom, and I don't watch TV hardly ever. I watch stuff on my computer. I'll tune into different podcasts, but be very careful what you fall asleep to, both metaphorically and in real life.